Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Promo Perspectives. My name is Nicole Cook. I am your host for today, and I am joined by Jessica from PPAI. Hello, Jessica.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We are going to talk today about continuing education in promo, which feels like such a great topic, especially as we are heading into the new year, wrapping this year up, learning how we can all better ourselves in 2026. So to start, Jessica, will you tell everybody a little bit about what you do with PPAI?
Absolutely. So I'm the senior manager of professional development. So I like to say I'm kind of the curriculum director of PPAI, will say.
Nice.
What's great about those, I actually come from the industry. So I have been in the industry since 2005. I'm extremely passionate about our industry. I'm also a professor at Northern Illinois University. So I have this weird blend of being able to
Amazing.
be a promo nerd, but also be an educator.
Mhm.
And that is really the what I'm trying to bring to PPAI, really updating the way that we're not only the types of curriculum that we have, the different things that you can learn, but the way that we're presenting it as well. People have different learning styles these days. We need to be
Mhm.
able to change up what we're doing. And this has been my lifelong passion, actually, to create this kind of education. And the
I
fact that
love
someone pays
that.
me for it is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, as someone who's gone through one of your courses, I can tell it comes through. It was very, very easy to follow and understand and learn. And actually, I'm brand new to promo. So I've
Okay.
been with Sage for a year, a little over a year now. First time in promo. So, like, taking that TAS course was my first, like, foray into anything promo. Now, I say that I worked in marketing. I was like on the
Oh,
receiving end
sure.
clients,
Everyone
but
touches promo until they
yeah.
get into the industry. It's like this $26 billion industry no one knows exists. And then you learn about it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, this is actually huge. And we've all interacted with it and not realized it.
Right?
Yes. So, yeah, so I love that. And your passion definitely comes through, I will just say, from a user on the other side. Um, let's kick off and just say what role does, especially since this is something you're so passionate about, what role does continuing education play in advancing our industry?
So I think with any role that you're in, any career goals that you have, there's always something that you can learn, in a different way that you can learn. And being able to help people advance their careers will elevate the entire industry as a whole. When you talk about the TAS program, I have to say that the module on purchase orders, which sounds very, very boring and dry, but also if we all take it, we can all do our purchase orders better and everyone's going to work better. And
Yes.
we'll all do everything better. But being able to get that kind of universal knowledge out of the way so that everyone can learn and everyone can hit their ground running, especially like you said, this industry is from the outside looking in, it's kind of confusing, and from the inside looking out,
Mhm.
it's hard to explain. So being able to help people who are coming in have that base understanding of how the industry works, what you're walking into, could help them be able to just to move on and be able to hit the ground running, like I said. But then also, once you've been in the industry for a while, there's still new things you have to learn. Are we changing compliance? Are we growing different directions? What's going on with AI? There's all these hot topics, but you constantly want to have that information in front of you. And the more that we can provide that for all of our membership it's the better that the whole industry will be able to be. I know that when I had to teach people about the industry and I had to stop doing my working job for a couple of
Mhm.
hours to try to explain this, that takes away from my ability to do my job. So if I can help someone, especially smaller businesses and things, take care of that for their new hires, it just makes their life so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. And I also want to touch on what you mentioned earlier about how everybody has different learning styles, because that's so true. Have you seen the needs of learning preferences change, like since you've been in this role or in the industry?
Absolutely. And this is something that I really saw at the university side that just kind of made sense.
Hmm.
So the way that the TAS is built and many of the courses that we're offering online right now, they're modular based. So rather than being a recording of an hour long that you have to kind of sit through, they're
Hmm.
very succinct, targeted content, then with a small quiz afterwards. And this is going to address the attention spans of a lot of people who don't necessarily have an entire hour that
Yeah.
they have to commit. I cannot sit still for an hour. I am as neurospicy as they come. So I need to have that, like, okay, let's get that information. I want to watch it on two
Hmm.
speed. if you watch me on two speed, I am not offended at all. Do it.
Good to know.
Whatever style you need. But then on the flip side, we also have people who need interaction, who want to go to these live events. And that's where we still have our NALC, our WLC, our how many acronyms can we have? LDC,
Yes.
ILS, and women, or yeah, all of those summits, all the
Yes,
things.
all the things.
Right. And we just came off of the Young Professionals track of LDC too, where we took a lot of our content and we made it more of a workshop style, where it was here's a bit of knowledge. Now you're going to build together, and then here's some more knowledge so that we're addressing those people who do need that interaction as well. My goal is to have, no matter what your learning style is, you'll have something here you can do. And forcing people into like one, here's the pigeonhole, you have to sit here and be lectured at for an hour.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm even trying to put standing desks in the back of our expo room so that we can have people who can't sit still, just stand. It's okay.
There you go.
We love everybody.
Yes.
But when we're also looking at our long-term goals of things like translations, because people, if they're learning in
That's
their
awesome.
native language, will retain the information better. Like, how are we servicing
Yeah.
everyone in that respect? How are we providing captions so that people, if they're hearing impaired, they have that opportunity? Different kinds of things that just make sense, because why not make it easier on everybody?
Yeah.
So that's we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
But we also want to keep making sure that we're seeing what the market is, seeing what other education establishments are doing so that we can continue to evolve the way we're delivering that as well.
Yeah, 100% agree. And then also on a similar vein, are there any specific like topics? So obviously there's the different types of learning, but you mentioned compliance earlier that adds to continuing education. Obviously things are becoming more digital now. There's different ways people want to sell. So are you seeing particular like topics and skill areas that people are more interested in lately?
I would say that what our approach is going to be, because of the information that we've gotten from the industry, is actually to provide the biggest variety that we can. So I know back in my distributor day, I did a lot of merchandising, but no one really taught me how to run a SKU rationalization or a quarterly business review. I just kind of figured it
Yeah.
out. There wasn't education because it was sales and it was ownership. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we are addressing multiple needs rather than assuming you're in sales. So we have a course on project management. We have a course on social media. We have a course on carbon accounting. We just came out with one that was about culture and management. We have a few technology courses on deck. We are partnering with other people to bring in content. So that way, it's not, sometimes we get a little over heavy with the hot topics. Like,
Yeah.
if I have an entire thing that's nothing but AI, oh God, that's a lot of AI. Like, what else are we talking about? Can we talk about something else? Right. And sometimes throwing in some of those basics are really good. We just did one on board. So if you want to be on a board of a regional community, or if you want to be on another kind of nonprofit, this explains what it's like. So being able to make sure that we're not just doing the cool topics, but we're
Yeah.
actually creating a foundation across the board. Even with our new CAS required, we have an ethics course. We have a digital technology course. We can't share our data through ChatGPT. That's something we all want to talk about. And then like an intermediate promo, where it kind of goes more in depth on what promo is all about.
Yeah.
So really hitting that variety and making sure that we are constantly bringing in something new, and something that someone can learn. There's a lot of people I've seen who are, maybe it's a family business and they're taking over. Well, how did they transition into that management role? That's not that's something that happens all the time, but no one is really helping. So
Right.
if we can provide that content, like, let's do it. I'm ready.
I love that. And it's funny because right before you mentioned AI, I knew that I was like, yeah, I'm sure AI comes up a lot. But you're so right. It's nice to know that there's a place and an organization who exists that you can say, okay, I need help. And this can be like your stop one that you make of like, I know that I can go here
Right.
and I am probably going to get the information that I need to get and not have to just like start from scratch, which I love. And
Right.
yeah.
And we're partnering with some of the other associations as well. I know our CEO Drew has talked about our super friends. So, we're talking to people like the AMA and FLA and saying, hey, can you provide us some content, and we'll provide you something too? Like, how
Right.
do we educate the masses? How do we work together? So you won't just be watching me on screen. I know, like TAS, you are. I'm sorry, you're stuck with me. But we
Yeah.
are bringing in those other voices as well to make sure that we're providing our subject matter experts the opportunity to deliver the content that they're looking for.
Yeah, I love that. And hopefully, as a segue, I wanted to talk about PPAI Advance. because I know that that's been an exciting rollout. So can you explain what PPAI Advance is and how members can get involved with it?
For sure. So advanced is kind of the overarching certification program. So it's not just in person, it's not just online, it's everything that we have under this umbrella. And it's really, we're all in marketing a little bit, right? This is
Yeah.
a promotional process.
Yes.
So of course we have to have a name for what we're doing, which is how I can make merchandise for it, but that's a sidebar. So what this is, it's really like the overall concept of the fact that you have all these different directions that you can get this education, whether you're attending an event. So at Expo, we will have PPI Advance live at Expo,
Oh,
where we have our
awesome.
conference day, but we're actually making it branded towards this. And then each of our different conferences will still have that curriculum built through that advanced idea.
Hmm.
So if you are looking at online content is probably the easiest, fastest one for the majority of our viewing audience. And if you
Hmm.
have that PPI membership, you have access to all that online curriculum.
Yeah.
And then if you are looking for an event, we have our 2026. Can you even believe it's 2026
No,
already? And
not at
we're
all.
already planning our content for 2026. So these whatever those kind of aspects, however you're feeling, that's definitely the way that you can go in. We have a PD committee, which before I
Mm.
was at PPI, I didn't really realize how many committees there are.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in becoming more involved, that's definitely something that you can look at. Like, how do you volunteer? How do you be a part of what we're doing? And we're always looking for feedback as well. If you go in and you're looking for a topic and you're like, oh gosh, I think this is something that I really need to understand, bring those
Hmm.
to us because we're constantly trying to find new ways that we can build the content. We're actually recently expanded our team. We have more people available for
Awesome.
PDs. So we'll hopefully be able to scale up some of these different pieces quickly, hopefully.
Yeah, that's very, very exciting. What kind of experience would you say people can expect? I know you kind of touched on it with online in person, but if you wouldn't mind digging a little deeper into like what can someone expect when they're going through this advanced programming?
For sure. So people always ask me like, well, how long is it going to take to get my CAS?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take to get the TS? And as someone who has their MPA, my answer is always, well, it depends. I can't give you a
Yeah.
concrete answer because it depends on how you want to create your learning.
Right.
So while some of the requirements, especially because I know a lot of people are looking for that certification, they want those initials
Mhm.
after their name so that they can go back to their clients and their community and say, hey, I'm an expert. I'm a certified expert in what I am doing. And that's probably like our biggest thing where people are like, oh, okay, well, where am I going to go? So that's where you're going to start with that TAS. And that course takes about 4 hours. Again, if you watch me on two speed, I'm not offended. It just
Yeah.
run through it. But that'll create the foundation. And then you can go on to take your CAS courses. Our CAS required courses are all online. And that is currently the only way that you can take those courses. We may
Hmm.
expand that, but for right now, because we want that universal knowledge, that is where that's going to be. Then once you have those requirements done, you have to take electives. But this is what's great. I'm sorry, I'm so excited about this part.
Yeah, I
It is
love
a
this. Yeah.
choose your own journey version of this. So it's kind of like you pick your major in college, or
I
you're
was
gonna go with
just
what
about to
your
say it's
focus is.
yes.
Exactly. So like
Yep.
what I was so frustrated with during my CAS was that I took coursework that I just did not matter to me because I had
Yeah.
to. And that is what I don't want anyone to feel when they're coming into this. I want them to be able to say, you know what, I'm a sustainability expert at my company, so I'm going to double down on all these sustainability things. You still have to take the requirements, but yeah, go for it. Go to Summit, do all this
Right.
coursework. That's great. Or hey, I'm in customer support, and what I really need is the courses on project management. And maybe I can't necessarily attend an in-person thing, but I want to watch the videos from previous
Yeah.
ones. That can be what you create. So it really can it's so much about empowering that learner, that professional to decide what they want to do and how they want their journey to look. We're happy to help. Like I'm
Right.
always willing to recommend a couple of courses. But the carbon counting one I found was fascinating when I made it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
That's
um,
awesome.
but but you really should be able to take the courses that apply to you and
Hmm.
then divide out the timing as it works for you. So if you have, I don't know, let's say you mark out 30 minutes on a Friday. Every Friday, you're going to sit down for 30 minutes and watch one module of one course.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's great.
Yeah.
Whatever pace you can do and you can manage. A lot of companies are even offering incentives to have people come in and take the
Mm.
coursework. So see if that's an option with the company that you're working with. I would love to see more of that. In fact, say, hey, if we want to be able to show that we're investing in you, we want to retain you, and this is a way that you can do it. And we have made a couple of changes with the new platform. We're using a platform, it's Blackboard, which is used with a lot of the universities.
Yep.
One of the small changes is you can't just open a video and then get the credit. You actually have to take a quiz after everything now.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to pass it 100%, and you have as many tries as you need. I'm not a good test taker, so I say whatever you need to figure it out. We're not trying to mess you up or anything. But that's going to be a little bit of a change. The other change is universal credits. So people can take, before it was you had to take MAS credits to get your MAS, and you had to take CAS credits to get your CAS. Well, again, you're picking your own journey. So if business ownership is not actually applicable to you, then don't take that. Take this other one on something else. Like you make your own thing. So it does take a few more credits to hit those certification points now, which is a little different, but that's because you can pick whatever you want to. If you are volunteering on a regional board or you're volunteering on one of our committees, you get credit for that too.
Yeah.
There's so many options.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to figure out exactly what's best for them and me not just tell them, other than ethics, and technology. Those are the lines I will draw.
Those seem fair. Yeah. I really like that too, though, because I can just talking about university, I feel like a lot of people, you have the basic coursework, okay, everybody has to take it. But I remember getting so, you're so much more invested when I was finally getting into my major specific courses. So similar concept here, once you're, when you get to choose exactly which path you want to go down and which elective you want to take, it's great because you're that much more engaged and that what you're learning is directly applicable to what you're doing. And I think it makes everything that you're learning stick more, you're more invested. And then it's great to know that you have these resources, which in my opinion, I think is one of obviously there's a lot that comes with the PPAI membership, but to me, this is one of the coolest that we get when we're a member with PPAI. So that's my personal bias.
I agree. Well, we even this year we had a push with our board where the board was pushing themselves to make sure they're getting all of this education. And so many of them had to go back and take the TAS. And I had that conversation well, I've been in the industry for 20 years. Why am I taking the TAS? And many of them actually came to me afterwards and said, oh, there was this one part that I didn't understand. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't I think it was the artwork module that I got a lot of feedback with I didn't even realize that was how it worked. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's here. And I love that because it shows people who are in the industry but are coming back and getting that knowledge and understanding it.
Yep.
It's amazing that we're having that and having a board that is so dedicated to actually going through the program each themselves, no matter where these are incredibly brilliant people. And they're Kate Alvarez, one of our board members, I swear that I put up there
I love that.
Right. And I'm like, and it's so fulfilling to know that they care so much about the industry having that resource. So it's been fun. A couple of them got a question wrong, and I did tease them about that, but it's fine.
I think that comes with the territory. You're allowed.
Exactly. Like, oh, you didn't want to take that, but also.
That's so funny. Well, I guess I want to wrap us by saying, where do you see professional development, continuing education going in the future? I know you've talked about what you have in mind, but just in general for the industry, and then a twofer question. I'm also curious, what's personally interesting you the most looking forward?
Ooh, that's tough. So I'm actually working on my 3-year plan right now. I'm very excited.
Oh, I love that.
But now that we've kind of created this foundation, we're going to be able to expand. There's 2 different directions we want to expand. We want to go depth of knowledge and then breadth of knowledge. So the depth of knowledge means that we're going to be getting higher level coursework available. That's something that we've heard from the audience a lot, or the community a lot, is that they want to go deeper into these subject matters. That's going to come with things like prereqs, like you have to take this course in order to understand this course. So we're really going to be able to start guiding that. A couple of other things that we're looking at right now is micro credentials. So my daughter's a Girl Scout. She gets a badge for all
nice.
journeys.
Yes.
I'm like, what if we had badges for journeys? Let's do that.
Yes.
We're in promo. Having these ideas, here's a couple of themed things, like a package together that if you're really interested in this subject matter, you're going to take this. And then the other thing that we're looking at is how do we get more involved in things like universities and things where we can
Hmm.
bring in how do we bring in the next generation into this wonderful industry that nobody realizes is a thing,
Yeah.
and trying to get that going because I know anybody who's a business student looks at their marketing textbook and promotional products might have a paragraph, even though
Oh,
most of them are
100%.
going to touch this
Yeah.
at some
Yes.
point. Which is why I love bringing our industry professionals into the MBA course and be like, hey, can you like remind them that this is cool?
Yeah.
But being able to have that connection so that we have that next generation coming in and not necessarily just universities, but also high schools. And how do we help trade schools, things like that, because this is such a great industry and there's a
Yeah.
place for everyone. And that's obviously where I'm very passionate about is being able
Yeah.
to not only just look at us internally, but how do we get out? How do we get those Etsy people who are creating on their own? How do we get them education? How do we get everyone to
Yeah.
understand who we are, how we can help, and be able to help them as well? So there's going to be a lot of content coming out, and I'm really excited to also see our industry be able to then be armed to say, hey, I'm going to go in my local community and I'm going to say to the entrepreneurial class in high school, let's talk about promo. Let's talk about how you would set up a promo
Yeah.
shop if you wanted to. Maybe there's a thing you can do and being able to provide that curriculum because if we're only focused on our industry inside, then we're never going to be able to grow.
Hmm.
And education is one of those kind of slam dunk ways to do that.
Yeah.
I'm even going to build an internship program. I have dreams. I have so
I love it. Yes.
I'm very lucky to be so supported with Ellen and Drew and the board to be able to see these things that have we've needed so much, but actually having them cross the finish line is just, whew,
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking in 3 years about crazy other things, I know.
I can't
But
wait.
for
We'll have you
now,
back. We'll have you back on for sure. Maybe we should make this a series.
you know, I have so much to say, but
Yeah.
and with this industry is one of those places too where like you once you're in it and you love it, like you don't leave. So this is
Oh
let's
my
give
gosh.
everybody the tools so
Yes.
that they can have fun here.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, gonna give you a chance to plug. Where can people like stay tuned and hear about all of these education opportunities as they come about and things like that?
Well, all of our traditional methods. So we have, be sure to follow PPAI on all your favorite social medias. We were working a lot with marketing on how we get more of this coursework out. If you have an account manager, be sure to be talking to them about what your options are. We do have some different ways that we cover certifications within your
Hmm.
membership. So there's those options. And PPAI website as well is definitely like all those traditional marketing methods are the best way to find out
Yes.
what's going on. But we will be at Expo for sure. Our entire team will be going out. So you'll get to see some of the
Amazing.
people that live in the internet like me. And
Mhm.
we are very excited to be able to see people in person while we're out there as well. So be sure to say hi. Maybe not on Monday. Talk to me on Tuesday because Monday's a
Yep.
little bit much for us.
Yeah. That's so fair. Yes.
So.
Well, thank you so much again, Jessica, for joining. This was a very fun conversation for me personally as well. I'm positive our listeners are going to agree. Um, Again, everybody, we'll see you again next time for the next episode of Promo Perspectives.